Hi, this is Ruchi this side, and I'm the moderator for today. And we have amazing architects and designers with us today. So today's topic is maximalism versus minimalism. So let's first do a quick introduction between ourselves. I'm Ruchi and I'm an architect and designer. My company's name is Studio Design du Jour, and we are working India and global. And I would like all of you to introduce themselves and do a 30 seconds introduction. Yeah.
Sure, why not? Hi, I'm Dhananjay. My company name is Studio Mathema. I'm an architect and we do architectural and interior design projects in and around the NCR.
I'm architect Vaishali Sharma. My company name is Every Design. We do high-end interiors as well as architecture. We do residential as well as commercial projects.
Hi, I'm Arushi from Ant Studio. So we are doing a lot of high-end residential and hospitality, pan-India and globally.
So,
Hi, I'm Sanjay Sareen from Eternity Architects. We've been working pan-India as well as in Dubai, many residential architecture as well as institutional and commercial buildings as well. And we are also into furniture development, which we do for only exclusive projects. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much for the introduction, everyone. So, if we start with today's topic, it's actually very interesting and very close to my heart also. So, first of all, I want to, in one word and, in one line, I want to know what is your personal choice, and especially in your own design, what do you use more? It's maximalism or minimalism? We'll start with Sir.
Hi. So, I personally feel that any residence, especially, when you are working with clients, it's a very personalized kind of space which I have done so many projects. So I would like to, first of all know the client, because they have to, their habits and the whole way of life has to, be, house is basically what you are. So same way like we are what we design. So design is what basically we are. So I want to give any client the kind of product what they are, so that they feel happy and joyful in the project. But still, my take on the architecture and interior designing as well is like I like to be more minimal, more in very straight line kind of projects, but yet not missing the life and the beauty of the textures and the colors and whatever it is little bit towards maximalism. It is not all about maximalism. I am not in favor of that, but because I feel it's too much of a clutter in life.
Right.
I feel so.
Right.
But to bring more life to more sensibilities and the very subtle sensibilities, and yet some kind of life and character, so that you enjoy the space as well.
Right.
So that is my take on it.
Okay.
It moves from the architecture as well as to the interiors in that way only.
Right. So what do you think about this? What is your personal orientation, yours? Minimalism or maximalism? And short answer, why?
My personal take would be more inclined towards maximalism, and because I think minimalism sometimes becomes a little repetitive or little more monotonous.
Okay.
But achieving maximalism is very difficult in this lifestyle. But we aim to create something which is not very confusing or very chaotic.
Right.
So it has to be more organized.
Right.
So that's what I
So
think.
your orientation is towards maximalism. So, ma'am.
yeah, my orientation is toward maximalism.
Yeah.
Because I like colors, I like textures, and I want my spaces to be very lively. Of course, I'm more comfortable with maximalism,
Right.
because I feel I can play more with colors as well as textures and patterns. So my take is toward maximalism.
Okay. And Dhananjay.
I prefer a juxtaposition. Juxtaposition in which you do a minimal space and you add a maximal. That's like an ideal space for me.
Right.
Like Sir said, I agree. You have to listen to the client. Client is coming with a lot of baggage, what I call that. So you have to listen to the client. But to do a good maximalist design, I feel at heart you need to be a minimalist, because otherwise it becomes chaos, as has already been pointed out. So you have to know the right balance as a designer where to stop. And if you stop too early, then it becomes boring. So it has to be the right balance.
Right.
So somehow I feel the intent of minimalism at the end is to achieve a very bold impact aesthetically. I think they're kind of very related to each other. So to do one, you have to know the other very well. So So you know exactly where to create that bang.
Right.
Otherwise, there'll be too many bangs, and then it becomes chaos.
So you are in the middle.
No, I prefer juxtaposition. I prefer juxtaposition.
You
I prefer
that.
a bold design,
Right.
a minimalist decor, and a bold design.
Bold design, okay. So, according to me, I am personally more oriented towards maximalism, bold design, textures. Minimalism is, I find it a kind of a little boring, but yes, you are exactly on point. There has to be a balance.
That's usually my understanding of most of the clients.
You need to play well. Yes.
Your element has to be
Maximalism is all about personal choices now.
Yes.
So that's why the balance has to
As
be
we
there.
deal with client, my understanding has been most of the women prefer maximalism.
Yeah.
And most of the men start with a minimalism, but they
But
like
they
it
end
bold.
up, yes, they end
But
up
they
with
like it bold.
maximalism,
So
yes.
either they are talking totally palatial or they're talking minimalist, the men, and women usually are liking a blend.
Right.
So they like blended, so even if something is a bold feature, but they will want something semi-bold to come with it. So it kind of gets, so
No,
it
I
is
think it is
minimal
like personal,
in a certain
right?
way.
Yeah, it's quite personal. It's
I mean,
quite personal.
the way you're comfortable in. I mean, I'm a happy person, so I get happy with colors. You know, I get happy with a lot of things. So I want my space to be as comfortable as I am. So when I go to that space, I can say this is my space.
Right.
So I mean, as I told you, this is absolutely personal.
In fact, that is one question. Happiness
Yeah,
is the
it's
most
coming.
important.
Yeah. So now let's start with a question. So how we will do is we will, take one question at a time, and then one person who wants to answer can answer that, so that it doesn't stretches a lot, and then we can all add on in that. So the first question goes like this: design is highlighted personal. Some prefer classy chic look, while some opt for aesthetics that are easy on the eyes. So what is your opinion in such design? I think हमने इसका एक answer पहले almost दे ही दिया है. Already done है. So let's go to the next question. So this is a very important question and very interesting. So post pandemic, people are embracing colors, material, textures to an infinite, so that their spaces are lively. Bath spaces are rendered to be such spaces for personal time. How do you think maximalist design affects your spaces?
I would like to answer.
Yeah,
this,
please
right?
go ahead. Yeah, sure.
See, I mean, bath spaces are somewhere we want to actually unwind, declutter ourselves. So it's like when we talk about bathing area, it's like we were tired, we want to take a long shower. Then of course, I would prefer that area. As it is, bath fixtures, we compare it with rainfall, and there are so many companies adding mist in it. They're adding, they're giving that powder rain shower experience to us. I mean, they are all together trying hard to feel that we are taking a rain bath.
Right.
So when we think about rain, then we think about nature, because it is related to nature, and nature is maximalist, because it has so many colors, it has textures, patterns, So definitely when I think about taking a bath in a nature, then I would like the nature to be in my bathroom. So I would like to use those kind of textures, colors, and of course a lot of plants also. There are a lot of colors in the plants also. So I want to, have that space where I feel that, myself also, and I can relax for hours. So definitely I like to have colors, and especially in pandemic, those bare walls look very cold and very sad.
Yeah.
So I would
Completely
like that
agree
it
to that.
need to be very lively, and of course it needs to be beautiful altogether also, because that should appeal me and make me stay for longer period there.
Right. So I want to add to your that, what is happening now and then is, number one, after this pandemic thing, people have started spending more time at home, so they earlier, they wanted a clutter free bathing spaces कि फटाफट यूज किया आधे घंटे में और निकले, मतलब आधे घंटे में 4 लोग यूज कर रहे हैं. But now, people spend a lot of time at their home, and more they are talking about bathrooms. In fact, my clients, they talk more about the washrooms than their bedrooms. So
Definitely.
and
And they can't go out, so they want the nature inside the bathroom.
Yes.
Then they want nature in the house,
So I think post-pandemic major difference is that, personal, they want everything to be personalized. Everything, from shower to this pressures, everything.
They started thinking about comfort. Initially, they didn't want to stay at home. People used to go, more out. Now they know they have to stay here, so they want to bring everything in the house itself. So they're working hard on it.
Okay. So the next question is very interesting. Post-pandemic, people are embracing colors, material textures to an infinite so that their spaces are lively. Bath spaces are rendered to be such spaces for personal time. How do you think maximalist design affect your spaces? So,
I would like to answer this question, right? See, bath spaces, I mean, is a place where we want to unwind, uncluttered. And of course, I want my bath spaces to be really beautiful because I want to spend more time there. And as I said, we live in the place where we are all confused, I would say that, overworked. Then of course, when I think about this, I would like to relax myself. I want to take a long shower, So there are companies who are working on showers, who are trying to create that rainfall, effects. They are having this powder rain showers. They're creating mist in it. So all together, they want us to feel the nature. They want to feel us that we're taking a bath in the rain. So I mean, when we talk about rain, then we actually relate it to nature, right? Nature itself is a maximalist. So I mean, nature has so many colors, patterns, and I would say that elements in it. So if I want to have that kind of experience, I definitely would like to put a lot of colors in my bathroom, as well as a lot of elements, plants in it, so that I get that holistic experience.
Right.
So definitely after pandemic, I would say that people they have stayed at their home, and of course those bare walls are bare walls are they give a feeling of coldness, dullness. So definitely I would say that I would like to add colors in my bathroom.
Right.
I want to feel myself in the bathroom, then only I can be relaxed, until I don't relate myself to that, since I mean, it is difficult to stay for a longer period in such area. Right. So I need to get that peace, and it depends on everyone's peace. Like I get peace with my plants, with my colors. So again, as everyone said, it's a very personalized thing.
Yes.
So when I talk about my client or myself, then definitely I would say that I would like to have a maximalist design in my bathrooms to have a wholesome experience.
So I want to add into that. My addition again would be that post-pandemic things have become, more, the design and everything has become more towards mental well-being, and pre-pandemic people didn't have time, they had to rush to their workspaces and wherever necessary. But, after pandemic, maximum time people love to stay at home. There is a work from home culture has impacted a lot, and that is why maximalism is all about personal design. And more than bedrooms, people are now talking about their bathrooms, that kind of pressures they want, kind of each element has been highlighted. Generally I feel that in minimalist design there is just one focal point, but in maximalist design there are lot of focal points which are added, and because of that, maximalism is more, enhanced after this, pandemic. Anyone would like to add a 30-second
I would
thing
say
in that?
one more thing about it, that bathroom not only means bathing area. Of course,
of
it has
course.
those basin area again, which has to be beautiful. Because we like beautiful, and we get peace in beautiful things. So like to see beautiful things, that gives us peace.
Right.
I would like to add that a bathroom is a space that you see the first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And the last thing at night. So I think it has to be something which energizes you for the entire day, and also it helps you sleep at night and makes you calm. So the design has to be such that it does both.
And that was not very much important.
Thought
I
about,
think
earlier.
मतलब हम लोग सोचते थे as architects. I don't think clients सोचा करते थे इस बारे में.
No, that has a reason, because we were always physically tired before. When now we are mentally tired.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of difference. We need a spa. People who are physically tired, they don't need anything. They can just go and sleep. Yeah. So bathroom is another place we can call it a spa because.
I'll add another take to this. For example, a lot of minimalist designs have taken place in Scandinavia.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of Scandinavian architecture is inspired from the fact that they spend a lot of time at home, and the fact that the color palette is so dull or so tone on tone is the fact that you have to bear that space for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's something like some factor which is like you call eye fatigue is also very important. But taking ma'am's point forward, it is also to do with the fact that when that becomes too much, like some spaces in Europe I just find are extremely dull. Some of the airports that you walk into are absolute minimalist designs, but they feel so dull and so so without life. So you do need that aspect.
Yes.
But somehow I think that this maximalism is also like a trend. It has also come out of because a lot of technology is there specific to washrooms. For example, earlier I wanted to use like a gold faucet, then that was a challenge. Now it is not that big a challenge. If I want to match my rails to that, it's possible. So I think it's technology driven as well, in addition to the other things. But I think post-pandemic, the more ma'am's point, and I think your point is also very valid, that we are kind of bored, and when you can afford it,
Indians.
why not? Yeah, we should.
We're
we should
Indians,
have,
so we are bomb people.
Yes. So let's go ahead with the next question. A mixture of prints, patterns and materials can be achieved in both scope of designs, right? What are the key factors while designing spaces that lend towards minimalism or maximalism? Sir, we want you to answer this.
Yeah, I feel that textures and patterns, they are, as Vaishali has rightly said, that nature has a lot of things to show you, and we learn like a peacock colors and all that, leaves of different, birds of different feathers and all. So obviously the prints and the things, many things, tiles, and people are following, many patterns from nature. So I have used, and experienced, though I am more of a minimalistic kind of person, but I have felt that when somebody asked for a blue colored flooring, so I did a blue color or a texture all over the floor, and rest all is minimal. So I think the great results have come up with just using, let's say the whole floor is of a print and the rest of it is very light, so it looks amazing. So I also experienced the textures, prints, they all play a great role in the whole product. So let me show you a small book which I was reading of Mies Vendor. So I'm, we learn from these great masters.
Yes,
so it's a minimalistic design, but you see a bold, a pattern which is a book matching pattern he has put, which has, put the whole focus into the project.
Right.
So that is how my take on this is, like, I design the things and, perhaps I'm not that bold in the sense like Vaishali to use, because you should have an eye to play with the colors so that yet it looks very amazing.
And it's a personal choice also.
And it's personal choice too,
of course.
because, but then sometimes when a color, some client asks for it, so we, try to, play with those things and and give that kind of results. Of end of the day, it has to be a happy home.
Yes.
It has to be a happy toilet. It has to be. My only question I was pointing out that way. I ask my old clients, and when they come for renovation, like all the washrooms in the house after 10 years are renovating. So it's a challenge for me that the whole house, they don't want to touch the house because it's a very beautiful house created, but they want all the washrooms to be renovated because of the reason that after a decade, after 7-8 years, you feel a change.
So then there is a change in technology,
and
trends.
then that change is not only one client, there are 3 clients down the line. So my biggest challenge, as she's rightly said, people ask me to do their gardens, they are asking me to do their washrooms, which is, again a very different kind of story, but the house is done by me, I can't say no to them.
So this is all effect of this pandemic,
I have to, and with Dhananjay rightly saying that so much of materiality available to you, like you look into this space, they have amazing, colors and
different materials
and all that spaces. So it is our challenge of design, which we keep learning every time.
Right.
So then it is for us to see how we, satisfy the clients and bring newness into the project.
Right.
That is very important.
Taking Sir's point forward, if you see that book, I think this is exactly what I meant.
Yes.
It's 90% about scale. I think the point I think Sir is about to make, that the scale of the space versus the scale of the bling. So if you keep on increasing this, then it I think becomes
I think this is where we come in, as a designer.
Yeah, but as
we know there is a very thin line between
as a tool, I feel the tool is scale.
Yes.
So the scale of one versus the scale of other. So for example, like this pavilion is like a huge building in that this is the only wall that stands out.
Right.
And one more aspect is there, that if you want to highlight signature product, then everything has to be very nude, if you want to highlight that. All depends, what you want to do with that
like,
space.
Cousin Kohler has come up with a new product this
I
time
would say that,
fair.
Fila, right? Yeah. They have included a lot of Indian art. They're including Indian artists.
Yes.
Initially, they were all Americans and Europeans, but now, of course, they've taken Indian artists into it. I mean,
a
they
lot of
have
nature.
realized that, of course, we are all connected to our culture also. Now, the whole basic of designing is, it depends what kind of product also you are using. If they are itself very beautiful, then you don't need to highlight your walls, Then definitely you need to emphasize more on the product than the walls.
Right.
So I mean, yes,
Posing
and
the
then
sink
as he
is-
said, as Dhananjay said, proportions are very important. So
Yeah,
I mean,
he's right.
proportions are
This is where we
most
come in,
important.
as a designers, because I've seen that clients, they try to
Yes.
So
put
where you
their
have to
mind
stop,
to do.
where you have to
Yes,
stop.
yes.
Combination.
So there is
of
a
two
very thin
combination.
line,
Very, very
between
thin.
right and wrong in our, in this
So
era.
that is the challenge of the designer. So many things are available. So why not? It's more
Yes.
challenging for us that how we create a maximal, let's say, design,
yes,
but yet it is
all
appealing.
of us, we have 10 bathrooms in a house. So we personally design for every person. Like daughter's room has to be like
this
this.
has come up,
son
yeah.
room. So ultimately, it's a personalized design.
Yes, yes.
I would say that there is. I mean, everything is mixed up, as he said, minimalism with maximalism. I think that works
like
fine.
supposing you
Yes.
go to the Bharat tiles today in
Yes.
Goan houses,
Yeah.
somebody expects you very textured and colorful floor, and yet the other things can be minimal as well. How you take it, how you present it, the whole story.
Right. I think the next question, आपके इस आंसर में आपने पहले दे दिया है, but still, let's just, I'm
That was the
going
next
to.
one.
So the next question goes like this: neutral palettes, stubble hues can be achieved that imbues a soothing aura through the space. How does one work with bold patterns and still instill a sense of peace? I think you have already given answers, but anyone want to add?
Not me. This cover is the answer for
We
that.
are so wise that we have already, we know the answers already. So if anyone
I
want to
couldn't
add,
find anything interesting here in the sense, though there's a life history for that.
Yes.
For that reason, but for the topic,
Right.
So this cover is the.
this is a perfect example which you have got. So we will use this as a tool in for
You can.
I think
Thank you,
pure
yeah.
minimalist would be Tadao Wando.
Actually.
Purely true
He's a
minimalist.
Japanese, no?
But
As he
I
used to
feel
say,
the intent is not minimalist at all.
Yeah, intent.
Intent is
It's
very
very
bold.
bold, yeah.
Intent is
You
bold.
see the
yeah,
Church
yeah.
of Light. I think I have not seen a bolder.
Exactly.
I'm with you
piece.
because I feel any design has to be a statement.
Yes, it
Yes.
does. It does.
Because otherwise, let's say my house is very minimalistic. I got a couple of clients. I know they want something maximal type of
Jazzy.
client, so I could not, convince them. So they sometimes feel that it's so too subtle, But yes, it carries some elements definitely. Maybe it's rugs, maybe it's a wall
So
treatment.
there's one more thing which हम लोग scale के बारे में बात कर रहे थे. There's one more thing which very important is now earlier bathroom को ऐसे second grade में ले जाया जाता
it's
था.
not that.
Earlier,
Yeah.
So earlier, but
gave
now the spaces are bigger. वो कह रहे कमरा थोड़ा छोटा कर दो 2 feet bathroom बड़ा
Ultimately,
कर दो.
nobody sits in the
So,
bedroom for long.
people are coming back, and in post-pandemic, the most important thing happening is my old clients are coming back.
Yes.
They want renovations in their house.
Yes.
So that trend has started. So do up the spaces, do
See,
up
one
because they want
technology
some.
and mechanism, I would say, also plays a big role in
It
this.
is a huge role. Yes.
It's not only the feel of the walls, it is like how much technology is involved because we want
So much
everything
technology,
digitalized,
so much of
Yes.
awareness is happening, so
Awareness.
much material is there. Whatever
Awareness.
you find in India, like you travel Europe, you find it here.
Yes.
You can screen print it. You can do
There are a lot of
anything, right?
options
You can
now.
do
Like
anything.
earlier we used to
Yes.
make vanities just सिर्फ पत्थर लगा दो.
हाँ.
Now you have brass detailing,
Very
you have rose
PVDs
gold
and,
handles,
also
you
stuff.
have
So
fluting.
many
So
materials.
the endless opportunities and the designs
So
are there.
yes, washroom has become the most important.
Most
Very
I think we're
important.
spoiled for
The
choice.
kitchen and
Innovative.
the kitchen and washrooms.
Kitchens and washrooms. Okay, so here we comes to our last question. Okay, so off the shelf decor design, something new, something bold in every corner. What minimalism depicts refines aesthetic clean lines. What's your take on this, especially on a bath space? So, do you want me to repeat the question or?
Yeah, I'm already receiving.
One second.
One more, okay. Okay. And off the shelf decor design, something new, something bold in every corner. Okay. That's maximalism. So while minimalism depicts refined aesthetics, clean lines, what's your take on this, especially for a bath space? So basically, I think this question is asking that, what is again your personal choice. You want to go with the clean lines and, refined aesthetics, or you want to do something new, something bold in every corner. I think that's so. Let's take 1 minute and all of us answers and finish this off. Dhananjay.
So I think one of the ways to do maximalism, I think, is perhaps the part of the question in which is, as you go along, you keep on adding. So you keep on adding stuff in the house, and for the house to look more lived in, versus something like which is like a statement in which you can't move anything around the moment it is designed. So I think the best example which comes to my mind in this case is an Apple Store versus a Starbucks. So Apple Store is that minimalist kind of a statement, and Starbucks is something which looks more lived in. So the more elements added into that don't kind of conflict to that. So I think as you're designing a house, I think as a designer you have to be mindful of this aspect that as the people will go, as the time will progress, they will add stuff.
Right.
They will want to add, like perhaps a purple in like a gold washroom or something like that. So you have to provide that space for them to be able to add that stuff as they go along. And as a personal thing, that's why I said as a designer, you have to always, I personally feel you have to come from a minimalist thought, which then the client itself is coming with so many requirements, becomes at the end, a maximalist system.
Right.
I would say that he's answered the whole thing.
Yeah, I think
we
that.
all believe that. I mean, we all actually work like that only. We love minimalistic, but then we want to add do maximalistic.
Right.
We would say that.
So
it has to be, I mean, everything we do needs to have a harmony.
Exactly.
That is most important. So, I mean, depends the kind of, if you want to highlight a specific area, if you want a specific element, then definitely you need to work less on the walls. And if you want to make the walls much more beautiful, then you need to work less on the elements.
Yeah, right.
So it is again a judicious mixture of both the things. So I would say that, with both of them.
Right.
Just done well.
Anything you would like to add, or I think question is answered.
Basically, washroom, as you said, is a beautiful place. Like we can look at it at like I'm getting challenging so many washroom designs. So obviously, I'll ask my clientele, their children, what the way they like. So I think it's a challenge for me when they ask for a maximal design. So it is for me to see that whether I give them a very printed kind of basin, how do I satisfy them, how do I make them feel happy? Because it is very individual. Like Vaishali would be using a washroom, the daughter would like the other way. So it has to be customized, and basically if she likes maximal, I'll definitely show some examples, and then it's for me to create.
Right.
That how I choose whether Kaila design of that
The artistic
design,
Yes.
should I do that, and how should I keep the rest minimal, or for me to see, and because end of the day the client leaves it on you.
Yes.
So you have to see that how you have to fulfill the needs of the client, and yet make them happy and make yourself also contented that end of the day you also did a good design, and you should vouch for it.
I think ultimately we just have to create the perfect canvas for them to paint on.
Right. So I think we are done with our questions. I would like to end this in a manner that the result of this very interesting discussion was, number one, that we take the feedback from our client, and then we try to harmonize between the two, maximalism and minimalism. Yes, if there is a strict instructions from the client, you go for this minimalism or maximalism. Otherwise, all of us are lean towards the maximalism, especially after post-pandemic. Right? Thank you so much for joining us.
Maybe minimalism with bold impact.
Yeah. I completely got you. So all of us are into that. That just juxtaposition is the right word. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.